Hey Taurus, welcome to my channel. This is Venus Baby Tarot, and I'm here to just give you a little quickie message. Happy Halloween, happy Samhain, and I hope you're all doing well. I meant to get this out to you earlier today, but they were doing renovations in my apartments, and so it's been super loud all day long today. So I'm just going to do a little quick message for you, and we're just going to see what you need to know. Taurus, what's coming in for Taurus? So, okay, so we had, it says a lover's erotica sensuality. I had to pause the video to go put stickers on her, and cover her up. Okay, anyway, so that's what we had to do to satisfy, our overlords. Okay, we have Justice. Interesting that it came out in reverse, though, and Abundance. I'm, kind of curious, why would it come out in reverse? Oh, I've already shuffled these. I don't know what I'm doing. We're gonna take a look with the tarot. The Guardians. The Overlords. Oh my gosh, I love it on the bottom of the deck. That's amazing. Okay, so we have the blue avians here. Philosophy, releasing karma, mysticism. Then you have the golden ratio with beauty, nature, and patterns. And then you have justice, abundance. And then, of course, the lovers, erotica, and the guardians here. Let's do it like this. So, I'm loving the justice and abundance. I'm loving the lover's energy, the sensuality here. Absolutely loving, the beauty here that I'm seeing. What's really interesting to me that I want to say is I feel like because of the fact that the Justice card was in reverse, although I don't normally take these cards in reverse, but I'm going to read it both ways, right? I'm kind of getting the sense that, for some of you, there is a resistance to a pattern, changing or evolving or outgrowing a certain pattern. It could be a karmic pattern, right? So there's been some resistance. Now, I want to say that because you have these other beautiful energies here, I feel like you are going to be loosening up and releasing that resistance, right? And justice is going to be served. And I want to tell you this really quickly. So on the bottom of the deck, you have the trickster. And you have harmony on the bottom of the deck with the other ones, right? And I feel like there has been a situation in your life that has been unjust, right? Where somebody tricked you, somebody was not very honest with you, somebody who talked bad about you, just lied about you or to you, right? And I'm getting the sense that with this guardians here, your celestial guardians, your spirit team, they have been watching over you and they are bringing you justice. They're bringing the justice that you deserve. Now, this could be with a specific person that has lied to you in the past and who has tricked you. And I feel like you are going to be getting the justice because your guardians, your higher selves, etc., are the time is now. I feel like also I just noticed the mirror here. I feel like something has been mirrored back to you in recent past that has really something painful has happened, but what it's done is it's given you a revelation of certain things about yourself that you've seen or that you needed to see regarding a past version of yourself or just a part of yourself, right? And I feel like what's good about that though is now what's happening is I feel like there's an evolutionary process. There's a releasing of a karmic pattern. And I feel like you're going to be attracting people who are mirroring back a more evolved state of being for you, right? So this could be in terms of like a romantic relationship, right? In which you are attracting somebody who is in the same energetic frequency as you, whereas in the past you kept attracting people who were not necessarily very honest people, and it forced you to look at the parts of yourself that weren't honest, right? Because we all have our issues, like we all have them. But anyway, this is upside down. Let's look at what the tarot has to say for you. Now, what I love about the blue avians is that it's a very healing frequency in terms of like pain. Okay, look at that. The Devil card. Now, it did come out in reverse, but I flipped it when I turned it over. So I'm going to read it both ways just because that's just the way it is, right? The World card. See, the World card with the Devil. Like, I'm telling you, there's a karmic pattern that is being closed out. This could be, honestly, with a person, like a karmic like person in your life. Sorry, pets went crazy. Okay. Part of being a pet mom, I guess. So anyway, back to what I was trying to say. This could be a karmic person in your life, like a karmic relationship that you've had. Karmic relationships expose all of the things, or maybe not all of them, but a good portion of the things that we are supposed to learn and evolve and grow in this life. They mirror back to us our negative qualities, the ways that we've shown up in previous relationships, the ways that we've hurt people. We are often hurt by these people the same way that we hurt other people, okay? So I want to tell you with that, if this has happened to you, just know it's like we all go through these things. Like every single one of us goes through these things, right? We all have positive and negative qualities. It is not something to beat yourself up about, okay? It could have been a much younger version of yourself that wasn't necessarily in your integrity and authenticity, and maybe you were in denial in your own life, right? With that Moon card, like you didn't really see yourself, right? And you were just sort of on autopilot in terms of, perpetuating childhood wounding and, your parents' personalities and things like that, right? And you weren't fully you hadn't fully realized your true self yet, or the self that you wanted to be, right? And then, and then you found somebody who basically revealed all of those things about yourself that were not fun to look at through or by perpetuating those same characteristics, okay? They're not fun. Karmic relationships are definitely not fun for any of us, but they do help us grow and evolve as individuals, right? But I mean, I'm definitely getting like a chapter is closing out. Like I feel like you've learned some really valuable lessons, Taurus. Like truly, and I feel like you see the picture a lot clearer now. I feel like you see your own humanity with grace, like you give yourself grace. You've done a lot of healing in this regard. I also get the sense that there's forgiveness that has occurred. I feel like something in you has really come to realize that hurt people, right? And there are so many hurt people who are walking around on this planet. And at one point in time, you were one of those people. I know I was. I look back at younger versions of myself, early 20s, late 20s, and I think, wow, like I wish I would have done that differently. But I didn't know better, but now I know better, so I do better. And we've talked about that before. And so I get the sense here for you. I feel like there's a chapter that has been closing out for you. Something has been mirrored to you by the universe. And it's like it's come full circle here with this World card. Something has been mirrored to you. And it is a pattern that you see about yourself or about your relationships or just about life, okay? Your life, right? But what's beautiful about it is that you are releasing this energy. You're releasing the negative energy, and you are moving into a higher vibrational frequency. And there's always a shedding process when we move into a higher vibrational frequency. Like, that's just the way that it is. Like, that's the balance. That's the balance in life. You know, like, if I wish that I could sit here and tell you as your reader, Taurus, that like your life is always going to be abundant and you're always going to have this love, you know, this sensual energy, but that's not the way that it is. And if I was one of those fluffy bunny readers, like there wouldn't really be any substance to what I do. And I'm not going to be one of those people, but I'm also not a tough love reader. That's not how I work. Like, I genuinely understand the human experience in so many ways. It's unfathomable sometimes, but that's probably because I'm an 8th house stellium and I've been to the brinks of insanity and beyond and phoenixed my way out of it, like over and over and over, like absolutely. And so anyway, I feel like with the 7 of Wands, I feel like there's a lot of self-realization within you. And it's like you're standing up for yourself against all odds that you've experienced, but something is different in you. Something has truly changed. And something has truly changed for the better. And now we're going to see what this is about. This is about the 8 of Pentacles. Interesting. For me, a lot of the times the 8 of Pentacles is not just about work, it's about the self-work. The Sun card with the Page of Cups. And the 2 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. We'll put it over here. This is about your relationships. Abso-freaking-lutely. So, okay, what I'm seeing here for you is I'm definitely seeing the self-work. I'm definitely seeing the realization of yourself like we talked about. What I'm kind of getting is that now, as a result of this process, it's like the karmic retribution comes in. You were supposed to go through this process. Like you were. And I feel like at times it was utterly challenging. Like I truly feel like it was. Because I feel like there's been a period in your life, which I feel has been the last couple of years, in which you've had to take an honest look at yourself. And I'm telling you, as somebody who has done that in many different ways with many different like healers, programs, stuff like that, it is not a fun process to do. Spiritual coaching or spiritual guidance, I don't know how to put them. Like they're my mentors, spiritual mentors. There you go. It has not been a fun process, to be truly honest with myself about the nitty gritty, you know, the gremlins in the closet that we don't want to see. But I feel like it's been mirrored to you in your life over the last couple of years. And I feel like you have been put in a position to really reflect on it. Am I going to perpetuate it and stay bound to it with this Devil card right here? Or am I going to just hide away and escape it and act like it's not even there with the Moon card, but it's always there? Even if you act like it's not there, it's still there, and that's self-delusion, right? Or are you going to finally close the chapter and say, no, I've had enough. I've absolutely had enough with this cycle in my life. Additionally, I feel like it's not just about you, Taurus. I feel like it's also about the relationships in your life. It's the type of people that you associate with. And this could be romantic relationships, friendships, whatever. But there's something about the people in your life over the last 2 years that has really like solidified the necessity of you safeguarding your energy. And that doesn't mean, for me, that doesn't mean slamming the door and just being like, I'm just not going to give my energy to that anymore. Like, that's not how I work. It is how I used to work. I mean, honestly, very honestly, like, I was constantly protecting my peace. I protected my peace so much that I had nobody left to protect myself from. And I realized that there was something very intolerant about the way that I was moving. And so I learned through a very painful process of, well, being utterly alone, to be honest with you. I learned that I had to give some wiggle room for people to make mistakes and to redeem themselves, right? And I had to do that for myself too. And so I feel like it's not like that. Like, that's not what I'm getting from this energy. I don't really get the sense that this is like a door slam. This is more just like safeguarding your energy versus like just being so protective of yourself that nobody can get near you. It's more just like, I'm going to, how do I put it? It's like you're going to focus more on conserving your energy. You're conserving it now because I feel like you realize now that you have other things to put your energy into that are so much more valuable than the not so great, right? How do I put that too? It's like that are so much more valuable than the relationships with other people in which they're still in, they're still in their karmic cycles. They're still in the muck of their life lessons that they need to learn, like very painful, harsh ones. It could be their escapist tendencies. It could be their domineering, controlling, ego, defensiveness, the things that they're bound to that just make them feel like they have to play this like better than, less than game, addictions, like just very toxic karmic cycles that I feel like everybody goes through in some fashion. Not all of us go through them as severe as others do. I mean, that really has a lot to do with your natal chart, to be honest with you. Some of us, like eighth housers and eighth house stelliums, like if you're here, let me know in the comments. But like, oh my gosh, like those, and 12th housers too, and 12th house stelliums, like, talk about a rough life. I mean, it's like karmic challenge after karmic challenge, and you just get to a point where you're just like, wow, I am so sick and tired of these death and rebirth cycles. But I want to let you know that if it is you, if you are one of those individuals, you are a force to be reckoned with, and do not ever for a second regret that. Don't ever regret or feel ashamed of or sad even about the cycles that you came into this life with. Because I'm telling you, you are channeling a power that is so much bigger than you can even fathom. Truly. And you can really make a difference in life. Like, truly. What I also wanted to say here was that with this Sun card here in the Page of Cups, I feel like for a part of you, or part of your life, you have felt like the sun has always been just out of reach. As if you have been honestly trying to grasp at it, or you're trying to achieve it, you're trying to get there, and that's the perpetuation. That's the cycle that you stay in consistently. That you're almost there, but not quite ready. Or almost there, but you don't quite have it yet. And I feel like that mentality could have honestly set into motion that belief system that's so deeply ingrained in you that you believe that you are always just reaching for something that is just out of reach. And because of that, it has become difficult for you to grab. Wow, that was incredible. But anyway, like that sank, right? Like, I don't know if that sank for you, but that sank for me whenever that came out. But I feel like there's something that needs to be adjusted within you, in which you stop seeing it. Whatever you're grabbing at, whatever you're trying to get, stop seeing it as it's out there. because it's not out there. Everything that is in the universe is in us, and we are in the universe. We are all connected. We are all one, right? So if something that you're wanting, like this connection right here, this lover's connection, this abundance, something that you are wanting, if you are seeing it as something that you have to continuously strive to achieve so much that you are always just out of reach, then I feel like you've got to adjust it and start to say, no, it's already here. It's already here. I already got it. Because I feel like that's part of the issue. Because I'm getting the sense now that I'm really sitting with this, I'm getting the sense that the reason why certain cycles have perpetuated in your life so much so is because you settled for them. And while they served a purpose, I mean, I feel like they served a purpose because I feel like they helped mirror things back to you that helped you grow and evolve as a person, which in a sense was the karmic retribution or the karmic justice that you needed. However, because of that settling, what you really desire has always been just out of reach, right? And I feel like that, what I'm getting was that was all part, like I'm looking at this swirl and I'm like thinking that was all part of it. It was like, because instead of beelining straight towards or like just having like a straight path to what you actually want to achieve, you had to go like this. You had to make a few pit stops along the way because that was your soul's lesson. And so now what I'm seeing, because I'm looking over here at this snake, half human, half snakes or whatever, I'm looking at how intertwined they are, right? And for me, I'm seeing that as whatever this abundance is for you, which looks mostly to be like a relationship. It is now so intertwined with you and your energy that you are attracting somebody, or you like currently have somebody who mirrors back to you this kind of soul connection where you want each other just the same. You are so in tune with each other on a soul level. And honestly, Taurus, there may have been a little resistance to begin with. And I feel like the resistance was because there was a part of you that was saying, oh, I'm supposed to settle, right? Because even if you didn't realize it, even like it was so subconscious that in your mind, or it was in your subconscious, you felt like this level of connection was always going to be just out of reach. And you were only ever going to get close to it. So because of that, completely unconsciously, you settled for what was available. And those situations mirrored back to you the life lessons that you needed to learn because of your own karmic patterns and your own actions and behaviors and way of moving in the world and seeing that in them. And this is how we learn about ourselves, right? It served a purpose, but it's like it didn't really have to happen, but it had to happen. Does that make sense? It's like it didn't have to happen. You could have beelined straight towards this to begin with, but I don't feel like on a subconscious level that was ever going to happen. So it was like you had to go through all of this swirly. Go round and round and round with your patterns, right? Like that's what you had to do to get here to the justice. To remove the resistance. That's why that was in reverse. To remove the resistance, right? The devil card came out in reverse at first, right? And then I flipped it up, right side up. This was all part of the message. This was the resistance. And then when you remove the resistance, and the resistance is deep within you, honey. It is deep within you. Because remember, this was always just out of reach. And the closer you got to it, what did it do? It repelled, right? And then you settled. And then that wasn't going to work out, or it didn't work out. And then you start striving for what you really want again. But it's like, it just kept getting further and further because of the resistance. That's why. It's because there was a part of you that so deeply, desperately wanted this, but also deeply, desperately felt like it was never going to be yours. Because why? Because you didn't deserve it, because you didn't earn it, because you messed up in a past life and you really didn't know why you didn't feel like it was ever going to be yours, but for some reason you did. Like, the resistance is being removed. The guardians are showing the way now. The guardians are saying, okay, Taurus, you've learned it. You've seen it. You've evolved. You've done the healing work, right? Or you've done this. You have the self-realization, the awareness now. And I feel like you've gotten to a point, even, I heard, where you can fend for yourself. You've gotten to this point now where the sun is rising and shining on you and showing the way. And what was really interesting is, I know in this imagery, the sun is rising and turning her into stone. So on one hand, it was like, that's like freezing the past moments. You know how, like, whenever Florence and the Machine says, I turn back to look at you and you turn to stone. So for me, and I think that that's in the Bible somewhere. I don't really know, but it doesn't matter. But I love me some Florence and the Machine. One of the best concerts I've ever been to in my entire life. If you have not ever been, I would highly recommend. But anyway, so what I'm getting is that whatever's occurred in your past, like these cycles that you had to go through, there's no sense in looking back at them because they're stone anyway. They're gone. Like, there's nothing left. I mean, when you think of a rock, right? Like, it's cold. It's like there's not... How do I put it? There's no development in a rock. Okay, that's just the best way to put that. Like, it's not like a tree, like a sprout, like it grows, it starts to, grow. It starts to blossom and then bloom, and then it has whatever, all the budding and the leaves, and then it drops the leaves, and there's a cycle. Whereas a rock is just a rock, and it stays a rock, and that's what it does. And while they are beautiful, I'm a rock collector myself. And I'm not saying anything bad about rocks because I have lots of them. However, not just like crystals, like actual rocks from the ground, but like if you turn and you look in the past with all this, and it's just turned to stone, then there's nothing left there to do, right? But if you look forward and you look how new connections are intertwining with your energy, then that's where you're going to put your energy towards. And I just noticed, like, he is like pointing at the swirls. Where are the swirls going? Right here. The universe, your guardians, are showing you the way. And what I also was going to say about this sun card was the sun is rising and the rock is going to crumble. There's nothing left. There's nothing left there, right? It's going to crumble. The past is crumbling. There's no more blockage. You can pass now. You can walk through. You can reach the sun. Like, you can actually reach it now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull some more cards, but I wanted to say really fast, if you're looking for a personal session, you can book in my scheduler down below in the description box. Also, please be sure to like and subscribe if you really like my content. Okay, let's see. What advice do you have for Taurus? I know I totally said this was going to be a short reading. Disregard that, obviously, because this just got, for me, this got really deep. The High freaking Priestess, y'all. Like, the Hermit. The Hierophant. You guys, like, this... I was going to say, like, tell me you went through a dark night of the soul and came up out of it like a bad bee without telling me that you went through the dark night of the soul and came out of it like a bad bee. Because for real, that's what this is. This is the 3 H's. Freaking y'all. The Hierophant, the Hermit, and the High Priestess is, I know it now. I know my shit. I see my shit. I'm owning my shit, and I'm growing, and I'm evolving. This is amazing. Like, and look at that. You have the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck with our dear daddy with the wand, King of Wands. That's right. Let's do this like this. We'll put our little 2 of Cups down here. What I'm seeing, and I feel like why it was so relevant to pull this 10 of Swords right here down from the bottom of the deck with the 10 of Pentacles, is because this is where you came from and this is where you're going. The imagery in the 10 of Swords is visceral. Is it not? I mean, it is somebody who is down on the ground and who is, left for dead and has been stabbed 10 times, potentially by 10 different people, right? And then you have the 10 of Pentacles, 10-10. What is 10-10? That's the end of a cycle. Is it not? That's the closing of the door, ending the chapter, and moving forward. And I feel like for you, Taurus, there have been numerous individuals, numerous relationships, numerous cycles that you have been through that have been visceral, utterly visceral. And because of that, you had some very difficult lessons to learn in life. But we all do. But this is your reading, right? Some of us don't have visceral experiences, and others of us do. Some people really do just coast through life. I'm guessing they're either young souls. I think that they're young souls. I read once that it's the old souls that suffer the most in life. But anyway, I just keep looking over here at this Justice card that's number 5. And I'm looking and I'm like thinking to myself, okay, so you've got 10-10 right here. And it's like weighing them out on the scale. So for all of the times that you have gone through these absolutely gut-wrenching, visceral experiences, you are being given by the universe the equal amount of blessings to balance it out, right? And I feel like because you have the Hierophant here, which is number 5 as well, this was all part of the spiritual process for you. And because of the fact that, I feel like what you put into the universe, you get back, right? I truly feel that. I truly believe that. But just because we put good into the universe does not mean that we always get good in return. People are going to expose themselves for who they are. And we have to remember, we have to factor in, even if you've been a saint in this life, you may not have been a saint in your last life, okay? So you may attract individuals into your life based off of things that happened in your past life that you are unaware of, that are really crappy people, you know, with this trickster energy, right? And it's like, this was just a soul thing, I guess you had to learn. I feel like you put amazing things into the universe. You got some painful crap that happened to you, okay? You may not have understood why. I mean, oftentimes we don't, right? You know, and it really could have been because of things that you did in the past life, you know, and that was mirrored back to you, or this was genuinely just like crappy things happening because crappy things happen, right? But I feel like with this 10 of Pentacles that comes out right here, this is like the universe compensating you for the shit show, for the dumpster fire that you had to go through. Like, truly. It's so much more attainable now than I feel like it's ever really been before. And I feel like, Taurus, I feel like you know yourself in a way you've never known yourself before. I feel like you move differently. You speak differently. You respond differently. I feel like you see people differently than you ever have before. And I feel like it's all rooted in the wisdom of your own experience. I feel like whenever we really know ourselves and we learn to become our own friend, and we learn to extend compassion to ourselves for even the darkest things that we've done or said, because we all have our issues. But if we learn to extend compassion to ourselves for those things, it becomes easier to extend compassion to others and to really see the humanity in other people and give room for redemption. Because nobody comes into this life perfect. Nobody really knows what the hell they're doing, right? And we all have our own set of really painful karmic lessons. And I feel like you just absolutely see things differently now. And it has closed out some really raucous chapters in your life. And it's opened up these incredible doorways, or it is. Look at this. It's all right under here. Like, it's like this side, more at an angle, because the 10 of Swords is like right in the middle, but it's like all of this energy right here, which I just noticed would be kind of like an inverted pyramid. I can't really wrap my mind around what that means, but anyway, all of this right here seems to be the thing that I forgot what I was going to say. Now I have to like try to remember. It's like, it's the thing that, well, that you've earned, Taurus. You've earned in some fashion. And it's not like we necessarily have to work for things. It's not like we have to work for good experiences in life. But I feel like your soul has earned these things. Like, sort of like this is the payoff. And for those of you that this is in terms of like really painful relationships in which there were addictions or codependency or secrets and lies and deception and, you know, delusions and just issues that were just painful and put you in this constant state of feeling triggered and fight or flight mode and just trying to survive. Like, you went through that and it sucked. But now you get this. You get this soul intertwining connection. And it is yours for the taking. There is no resistance. You're not getting closer to it and then pushing it away, because of a resistance that's in you. The resistance is removed. And now it's just coming to you. Like the universe is just saying, good job, kid. You earned it. I'm just getting this image of so I don't know if any of you that watch Shameless, but when Lip does the demolition for the summer and he's totally just tore up right after work, just utterly just tore up, and then they go to the bar and he his boss slides a drink over to him, good job, kid. You got your butt beat today, but take a load off. Or how he ended up going to Florida to stay at that really nice house, and it was that was the universe saying, take a load off, just enjoy the summer. That's kind of what I'm seeing. You put in the time, you put in the effort, you put in the tears, the blood, sweat, and tears, honey. You put it in. And now you get your payoff. It's bittersweet. I definitely see that it's bittersweet, but it's freaking magical. I don't know. I wish I could explain the feeling coursing through my veins right now. It's pretty phenomenal. But I feel this King of Wands here with this Chariot underneath that, I feel this is a very fiery, passionate, magnetic, erotic, sensual energy that is charging your way. And you're not resistant to it. Not at all. Not even on a subconscious level. Okay, that's what I have for you, Taurus. Again, if you're looking for a personal session, my scheduler link is in the description box. Please be sure to like and subscribe and help me grow my channel. And I love you guys. This was epic. This was utterly epic. I am so proud to be reading for Taurus. No joke. All right, that's what I have for you. Bye.